Right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you on a slightly overcast Tuesday here at the beautiful Nasrec. My name's Alan Committee, and I will be your host for the morning. We'll just allow some of the people to arrive. There we go. Better late than pregnant, and that is exciting in its own way. I started with the joke, so when you're ready, madam, just enjoy yourself and relax and sit back, because you're looking at me like a New Zealand rugby supporter at the World Cup final, like you're missing a point. Please don't feel like you have to laugh immediately. Not all the jokes are for now. Some of them you can enjoy tomorrow afternoon in your own way. We want to welcome you to this Propak Africa 2025 briefing session. We're thrilled to have you here. I was watching. There's a hand up. Do you want to go to the toilet, sir? Oh, you're just looking for these people. Oh, these people are coming for you. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, yes. Oh, this is nice. Oh, now we're meeting, all of us here. Hello, welcome. Nice to see you. Hello, nice to see you. Great, and you've got seats there, and you've got a little plant. Did you bring the plant, or is that part of the... That's mine. It's beautiful. It's very nicely done. I try to decorate where I can. We are delighted to have you here, and over the next 45, 50 minutes, we're going to be having this briefing, which today will be done slightly differently, I think quite interestingly. That's why you can see some of the teams seated behind me. It's tricky because the last time we did the briefing, you were behind a curtain, and no one could see you. Now, you have to sit there and pretend like you're not part of the stage, but we see you. We watch you as you watch us, as we look at you. And the longer I take to introduce you, the more you'll feel strange. So that's exciting. Just giving time for this gentleman. It's all now 2 into 1, but you'll have to come to this one here. Yeah, that's fantastic. And then you're sneaking around. Oh, so that seat is open. So maybe, no, I think go back to that one. No, I'm joking. No, sit here. That's perfect. Are you happy? All good. So that is the end of our briefing. Thank you very much. And oh, it's not that late, but it's pretty close. So we are, as I said, thrilled to have you here. I think this is quite an exciting time in our country. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I feel like there's a wave of optimism and good spirit in the country. Would you say that's true? It's not bad, isn't it? Our Springboks continue to win all the time. The Proteas won a match by accident the other day, so that's exciting. The Olympians did pretty well. We have a GNU government. And the truth of the matter is the world as a globe is in so much strife that people who left South Africa in the 70s, 80s, and 90s are now coming home. We have become the good option. Just think about that for a moment. South Africa is now the best option in the world. And they're not wrong, because if you think about it, we have extraordinary resources, great scenery, and we have us. As a nation, we are filled with resilience and charisma and delight. Even though all of you are just looking, madam, you're trying to pretend I'm not here. You're just looking, I can see you. I'm watching you looking back at me. And so I just delight in the fact that things are going well. In America, Trump is now president. And sometimes you have to get what you ask for, don't you? And if you ask for something, then you get it, and that's all good. And I'm sure that's going to be tremendous for them. I suspect we'll have a lot of Americans here very soon, and that's exciting in itself. In England, they had another election 5 months ago, and I think it's their 38th Prime Minister now since March of last year. So that's exciting. People don't even know the name of the Prime Minister. Do you know? No one knows, because he's going to be out in a couple of weeks. Anyway, as he walks into number 10, he walks out the back door. The cat doesn't even look up from the bowl of food. No one cares. Europe's at war. The Middle East is under strife. And so everyone wants to come to South Africa. And they should, because why? We have electricity. And that's quite nice. Not in Joburg, but the rest of the country has... I grew up in Joburg, and I love the city very much, but I see now we don't have, it's now load reductions. Is that what you're calling it now? Yeah, I'm living in Cape Town at the moment, and I was here last week, all of last week. Where I was staying, there was load reductions last Wednesday. From 4 o'clock to 6, it was stage 2 load reduction, and then at 6, it escalated to 5. Then 7, it dropped to 1, but at 8, it jumped to 6 till 9. Then at 9, we added 2, but minus 1. And multiplied that by the water restrictions in Melrose. And then someone threw a double 6, and I landed on a snake. And then the snake took me down to Commissioner Street, but that exploded. And so then I got a free coffee from Discovery. So that was quite exciting. If you understand the rules, it's very good. I just don't know what rules it is. These are crazy times, and yet we keep smiling. I think that's the greatest characteristic of South Africans is we just keep going, and we hang on to all the smaller good news stuff that we can. The GNU government is with us now, and that's 813 ministers per portfolio. So that's excellent. And all of us are deputy ministers. Did you know that? All of us, except you. You're the only one. And that's why this isn't really an exhibitor briefing. It's actually an intervention to find out why you weren't made. Well, no one knows. It's very sad. Even your daughter, it's just not the daughter. I don't know. But the point is, there's a lot of strife in the... And by the way, our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, who visited South Africa recently, by accident, and he said on television, he was very clear, he brought clarity and comfort. He said, this country, newly formed under the spirit of unity, will provide great help and alleviation of troublesome, problematic disadvantages, or if not, the opposite. And if we can move forward slowly, standing still, and look back into the future that could be our present, as a past that isn't aware of what it could have been earlier, from a bigger concern of a smaller picture, knowing that as a nation, individually, on our own, as a country, screaming blindly but quietly into those who, I don't even know what he was saying, but he's still talking, and it's very comforting, and we take that for nothing. So here we are. This briefing will not have all of that nonsense. This is straight talk. This is good information. As you well know, we only have this exhibition every 3 years. And so to see your faces, the last time, it was COVID. Can you believe that? It feels like a lifetime away. Back then, I would have been looking at you, and we wouldn't even been able to see each other. You would have been behind masks. So to see your faces now, I do miss masks. But no, but please don't take this personally. Just some of you, I'd still like to see in masks, but for a different reason. So I want to remind you what that was like. Let's take a little look at a video from 2022, and it will give you a sense of what we're going to be dealing with today. Take it away.
See you next time. Hope to see you next time.
We look forward to seeing you all.
So there it is. So we need to find out a bit more about this year's, or rather 2025's offering, and that's why this briefing is happening. And by the way, I'm always delighted to work with Specialized Exhibitions. I count them as one of my favorite working relationships. Gary and we've been doing this for a while now, haven't we? And every time I come to Joburg, obviously I get a hired car, and the state of the hired car, or the nature of the hired car, gives me a sense of the nature of the relationship. Sometimes I do work, and they let me drive a BMW for the day, which is beautiful. The other day I drove a Mercedes. I think I'm saying it right. And then, but I was in Port Elizabeth recently, and they gave me a Mahindra. Has anyone driven this car? The Mahindra. In Hindi, Mahindra means smaller than you think, but much slower than you expect. And as you get into a Mahindra, you're actually also getting out of the Mahindra at the same time. You are both within and without the car simultaneously. It's very zen. The steering wheel sits just under your nipples. That's with the seat fully reclined. And there is no gear lever. You've got to reach behind the steering wheel. I reached back too far. I pulled out a spark plug, which made the car go faster. It was amazing. 0 to 100 in just under 3 weeks. Really, if you get a chance to drive a Mahindra, walk. Right, let's get down to business. I'm thrilled to introduce the MD of Specialized Exhibitions, the CEO rather, or MD. And this gentleman, again, most of you know him. If you haven't met him, a delight. For me, I always tell him this. He looks like Mel Gibson in the movie A Man Without a Face. So please Go wild. And welcome Gary Corrin. Happy days, sir.
Alan, thanks. Thanks for joining us today. What we've decided to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to unpack, if you forgive the pun, some of the information that we need to share with you to have a successful event. The team have put together a program that takes on a little bit of a skit format, and I'm going to undertake the role of the exhibitor. So I'm going to ask questions of the team that hopefully covers some of the questions you may have, and let's get started, if you don't mind.
Fantastic. Take it away.
Okay. Afternoon, ladies.
Hi, Gary. Nice to meet you. I'm Natasha.
Natasha, hi. pleased
Hi,
to meet you.
Gary.
Botsani,
Botsani.
how are you?
Good, and you, Gary?
Good. Botsani, it looks like you have a product offering here that could be a solution perhaps for an entry-level exhibitor.
That's correct, Gary. Behind here, as you see, we have an entry-level package, which is a shell scheme. We had an example as you walked in. I think there's a green fascia outside. That's our shell scheme package. It comes with carpets, a light, plug point, fascia for you to have your name and your stand number.
So it's a very basic level entry offering. Does it come with furniture? No furniture, hey?
No furniture.
How would I acquire as an exhibitor furniture, some branding, those sorts of aspects that I would need for participation?
So if you need to hire furniture, you can hire from our service manual. As you can see on the green book that you have in your hands and all on your desk, the front page has a QR code to the Exhibitor Hub.
Is it this one, eh?
That's
In
the
the
one.
front of the book. Okay.
So on the Exhibitor Hub, you'll get our service and our general manual. So in our service manual, you can order furniture. And this year, we've taken it up a notch. You can also order graphics for your stand if you have a shell scheme, or additional graphics for any other package you have with us. You can order plants, security, audiovisual, plumbing. Well, I can go on. We have a long list.
Okay, so that's all in the services manual.
That's correct.
And
Gary.
then the general manual?
So in the general manual, it's the A to Z. So that's the frequently asked questions by exhibitors. So if you want to have any contacts for catering, it's in the general manual. You want to find out who to speak to regarding logistics, it's in the general manual. So any question you have in the general manual you'll find, including our contact details as well, if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you, Botsani. And like you say, I take the QR code and I download that and I'll share that with the team back at the office. And any of those queries, we order through you guys. You can deliver those for us.
That's correct, Gary.
Okay. Natasha.
Hi,
if
Gary.
I may. Hi. I believe you look at the exhibition from a marketing perspective.
Yes, I do.
What can we expect from the marketing team for Propak, ProPlus, and the Gap Print Expo for 2025?
Well, to promote the expo this year, or for next year rather, we have a fully integrated campaign covering traditional and digital elements. On the screen, you'll see a breakdown of some of our marketing channels, the details of what we're hoping to achieve with that channel, the frequency, and then the objective of that channel.
Just looking through those channels, there seems to be a fair mix of digital and traditional media. Could you maybe just elaborate a little bit on that for some of us as exhibitors?
Okay, so on traditional, I've got radio advertising, I've got street posters. We do print advertising with our media partners. Digital is paid advertising, and obviously each channel has its own purpose, it's got its own audience, which is important for us to reach our ideal target audience.
Okay, some of those seem pretty unique for South Africa. Like the outdoor, why would we do on a business show outdoor advertising?
As you said, we are a unique bunch, and I bet everyone here drove here, so we have all passed billboards, street posters, and we listen to the radio, which is why those kind of options are important for us.
Okay, then talk to me, because at the end of the day, as an exhibitor, I guess that's the real value we buy into. Talk to me a little bit, please, about the type of audience we can expect to see over the 4 days.
2022, we saw over 9,000 visitors through the door, over a variety of industries, a variety of job titles. We have a full post-show report, which we're happy to share with anybody if anyone has not seen it or would still like to have a look at it. For this coming show, we've broken down each of the different shows, again, as you'll see on the screen, and we've broken down the industries that that show would like to see, as well as some of the job titles. This is obviously just a basic summary, and what my team and I have been working on is a lot more in depth. But it helps to give you an overview of who we're inviting to the show.
So then it would seem logical as an exhibitor for me to have a look at what you guys have been doing, and then as part of the pre-preparation, get ourselves as involved in all of those activities as possible. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So to help with that, on that Exhibitor Hub, the QR code is in front of all of you, and in the book, we've created a bunch of collateral that every exhibitor can tap into. There's social media artwork, there's tickets, you'll get tickets outside, all of these things to help you promote your presence at the event.
Okay, so that's all before the event. Then, you know, it's a big show. And there are 3 halls, 3 different sectors, over 250 odd exhibitors. How do we as exhibitors go about getting people not just to come to the event, but to come to our stand specifically? Could you give us any advice in that space?
Again, tap into the marketing opportunities. We have public relations team. Caroline is sitting around here somewhere.
Where's Caroline? I saw her.
There we go, there's Caroline. Caroline leads our PR. She'll be collating information of what you're doing on your stand. She'll be collecting press releases, which we'll load onto our website. That's just one of the opportunities. We'll also be sharing what you're doing on our social media channels. Then we've got the new media catalog, which visitors will receive in both digital and print format. And each exhibitor gets a free listing in that catalog. Really
That's for
helpful.
visitors. Visitors will access that as they arrive.
Yes.
Okay, talking about that, I've heard about another intervention or activation that you guys are going to put together as a marketing team. As I arrive as a visitor, so our clients and potential clients, there's going to be a WhatsApp channel. Is that correct?
That is correct. The WhatsApp concierge. This is a new platform for us. And as South Africans, I bet every single person here uses WhatsApp regularly. So we've taken this one step further, and for the visitors, we've turned this into a platform monitored by humans and AI to actually help the visitor through the event.
Will that be similar to the experience I had when I came to the industrial show here a couple of months ago? So when I arrive, I get a WhatsApp, and I can then select if I need to see a floor plan. I send a request for a floor plan, and it gets sent back to me.
Yes, we found it a great tool to help visitors through the show and navigate the event.
Okay, and it obviously fulfills the requirements of POPIA Act and all those sorts of things.
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's great. What else can I do? Because time is tight, we need to move on. What else can I do to upweight my presence at the show, bearing in mind that it's a big event, as we said?
There are also sponsorship opportunities. There's sponsorship opportunities on the WhatsApp channel we just spoke about, and there are other branding opportunities. You just need to speak to Sonia or to Andre, who I think are based or sitting outside at the moment. You can speak to them about uplifting your brand and getting your presence out there.
Okay, you see, I may be getting old. Some of you have known me for nearly 3 decades now, but I still remember some things. So I'll put my badge on. Do you want to explain to us how this works and why our visitors are badged?
So, the lead scanning is very important. Every single visitor that comes through basically gives you permission to receive their data when you scan the badge. However, you have to have the app to scan it. Just because it's a QR code doesn't mean you can just take a photo of it and at the end of the day you'll have the data. You need to engage with Botsani and the Textra team to get the app.
Okay, so it's really what this is a digital way of doing what we used to do in terms of manual lead capture. This will assist us.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you, ladies. I think that brings to the end this engagement, but thank you for sharing with me and our fellow exhibitors on that front. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That went pretty smoothly, Gary. I thought that, there we go, that didn't, but this did. They were lovely. I wanted to check with Botsana, because she thinks it's the end of her presentation, but there's always an extra question. What kind of furniture can I get? Is there
There's a catalog.
is it a beautiful
Yes,
catalog?
a beautiful catalog.
Like Joshua Daw? You got an auntie in the furniture
More
business.
like Bradlow's.
Like what?
More like Bradlow's.
Bradlow's.
Yes.
Way, we're going quality. This is nice. Will they have that little plant that that man had that he's trying to steal it? Will that plant be available?
A bit bigger.
A bit bigger.
Yes.
And the plant. Okay, that's great. If my jokes are too quick, I'm going to have to ask you to use the app to... Still nothing from you. That's fine. It doesn't matter. All right, Gary, that's pretty clear. So far, that's pretty good. So let's go and have another experience.
Well,
shall we?
let's go and have another experience.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alan. Sure. Hi, guys. Sorry to interrupt.
Hey, Gary.
Hi.
How are you, Manu?
Manu, how are you?
Good, man.
Hi, Gary.
Morel.
Morel.
How are you?
Nice to meet
Manny, just having a look at where we're at with you. I suspect this is a top-end offering that, as an exhibitor, I could access. Custom-built stand. Can you maybe give us some insights into that?
Yeah, Gary, what we have here, now we refer to it as a designer stand, but most folks refer to it as a custom build.
Okay.
I think what's important here is to understand that what is in your service level agreement with the organizer, first of all, to see what's included in there.
Okay, so the starting point would be to understand the contract that I've signed with the organizer. Typically, if it's a bigger stand, not always, but typically it's going to be space only. And then from there, we get a custom build stand, designer stand. Is that right?
That's correct, Gary. So I think it's, let me take a step back. So when you initially sign the floor space or hire the floor space from an organizer, please bear in mind it's crucial that you understand that what the organizer is providing is a floor space only. It's a piece of concrete. No floor covering, no power, no shell scheme, no walling, no deco. That means the onus is upon you, Gary, then to find yourself a stand builder that's able to build a stand on your behalf.
Okay, so let's talk then a little bit about that stand builder. What goes into the stand design that is important for us as exhibitors to understand in terms of compliance and delivery?
Okay, so Gary, maybe let's just touch on the compliance side of it. For example, if your stand exceeds 2.5 meters in height, you will require, number one, a structural engineer certificate.
Okay.
When you go double volume, for example, you go double story, you need to know that, spiral staircases are no longer allowed. When you go double story, you need to know that, for example, you need to have fire extinguishers on your stand, accessible, visible. You need to have smoke detectors on your stand as part of the compliance of
So anything above 2.5 meters is going to need a structural engineer certificate. It's going to need to go through emergency service.
Absolutely.
Okay. Then from a logistics perspective, even for a stand like that, are there certain basics that I, as an exhibitor, need to acquire from you, the organizer?
Yeah, Gary, maybe let's talk about it. Patsani mentioned earlier, we've got several other options in terms of services we provide. For example, power supply. That's electrical connection to your stand. This comes in various capacities.
Okay, I was going to ask. Yeah, because we've got equipment and machinery, so we may need three-phase power.
That's correct. That we've got on a manual, Patsani mentioned it. It's on your bookie on the first page. We've got services, for example, compressed air. If you need powerized compressor to your stand for your kit, that we've got. Water connections that we do have. Patsani mentioned we've got, there's forklift hire in the manual. We've got security hire. We've got plant hire. All of that in the manual. So if you need assistance with that, just give the team a ring and we'll assist you with that.
And another question in terms of some of the equipment that may go down, its weight and floor loading capacity?
So good question, Gary. So your floor loading capacity in hall 5, 6, and 7, it's 7.5 tons per square meter and 3.5 over the ducting service. So if your kit exceeds this limit, you need to make contact with the team.
Spreader plates and things like that.
Absolutely, spot on.
And obviously we would need to get some of those orders in early because once equipment is down, it's difficult to put in plumbing and compressed air.
Absolutely, that's spot on, Gary. Maybe just something that I didn't mention is just the safety side of it, Gary. Maybe just one point on that. So, for Propak Africa 2025, we're not going to compromise the safety of the event, Gary. Okay. So each stand builder will need to produce a safety file. And the essential document in a safety file is things such as your method statement, your risk assessment, letter of good standing, for example, that would need to be handed over to the safety file.
Okay, so any reputable stand builder would understand this and know that on our behalf as exhibitors. But if we're not sure, we should check with you guys.
Yeah, get it.
Because if you don't have that, you won't be able to erect stands on the floor. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's crucial that, folk, when you appoint a service provider or stand builder, please make sure you appoint a reputable stand builder. We work very closely with a company called EXA. That's the Exhibition Association of Southern Africa. And they've got I think, over 100 members, credited members. if we can share the information.
Okay, so
after
the
exhibition.
responsibility is upon us as exhibitors to make sure we use reputable organizers. There's an association called EXA. We can check, or we can check with you guys just to make sure that they meet the requirements and the specs that we do.
100%.
Somebody mentioned something about insurance as well, Manny.
Yeah, good one, Gary. Gary, it's summer like in your office, our offices, at our factories, at our workshops, even in our homes. We answer Africa anyway. So I think it's important that you speak to your brokers, your insurance houses, to make sure that you're adequately insured, not forgetting your goods and transit insurance.
Okay, Manny, thank you for sharing that. And if there's anything, I'm sure the ops team back at the office can give you and your team a bell. I just wanted to cross-reference quickly. If I take a shell scheme package like Botsani was talking about, I don't need the safety file, do I?
No, not a safety file. That is covered. We covered it from organizer point of view.
Okay,
It's only
it's
if you
just
opted for the space-only option that
Space-only
you need
option.
to make sure you get it in.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Manny.
Okay,
Morel, I haven't
Yes.
forgotten you. Didn't mean to be rude.
No problem, Gary.
You're also involved in marketing, eh?
Yes,
So
I
I
am.
believe you've lined up some media partners for the shows.
Yes, we have. We have quite a few media partners that we've partnered with, which we want to say thank you for. And also a very special thank you to Packaging Print Media. They will actually be doing a...
We can go off script now. They're the ladies are at the back. Susie and Sam. As always, loyal supporters of the shows. Thank you for all the years of loyal support.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so-
I interrupted you.
No problem. So they'll be doing a preview of the expo. We also have Gap Magazine that's going to be doing a preview of the Gap Print Expo as well.
Vikesh is here as well. I'm looking for you. I'm checking with Mark. Vikesh is here.
And yeah, of course, last but not least, New Media, who will be managing our event
I
catalog.
think I did, and memory is still serving me well enough to know. Anita's here as well. Hi.
Yeah, so just a reminder to all exhibitors, just to get in touch in terms of putting your free listing in the event catalog.
Okay, and a crucial part, it ties in then to some of what Natasha was talking about, all these opportunities that are out there for exhibitors that potentially we couldn't just do on our own, but because of the event and because of the collective energy and activities that are around the show, opportunities for us to partner with all of them.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, another thing that we need to look at, deadlines.
Yes. So everyone would have received the agenda in front of them.
In front of you, yeah.
On the back of the agenda, you'll see there's a list of action items. Between the marketing and the operations team, there's a list of deadlines if you want to participate in any marketing campaigns with us, and then, of course, from an ops perspective, to get all of your exhibition stand requirements in order. This is also available through the Exhibitor Hub on that QR code.
QR code. And then I believe there is a WhatsApp group, but for exhibitors only.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yes, sure. So there is going to be a WhatsApp group available for exhibitors, exclusive to you guys only. It is a community group, so you don't have to worry about your contact details being shared with anybody else. It is one-way communication, and give us the opportunity to give you any updates on the show, any urgent, we'll also add in the deadlines there as well, and any other information that will update you about
How do we get
Propak.
onto that?
So you can scan the QR code.
I'll scan the QR code.
Yes.
Is that the one that it's in the book? Is that the one I saw Alan's ugly mug on before we started? Oh, okay.
It is also on here as well.
Okay. All right. And then don't worry about the paper, we'll get it later. One last comment. We've picked up amongst ourselves, and I'd like to just share that with our peers, some scams that are out there that as exhibitors we should just watch out for.
Yes, Gary. So there are a few scams that are out there. So two of the scams that we've picked up is the fake advertising and the selling of data through third parties. If any of this happens to you, please feel free to contact our team. We, as Specialized, do not sell any data or any of your data to any third-party organizations. So if you pick up on any of this, please do let us know and be in touch.
Okay, so if we're not sure as exhibitors, and we've had approaches from people wanting our data, wanting to sell data, wanting to sell us advertising, and we're not sure, it's best to check with your teams first.
100%.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Morel. That's pretty much sums up all of the questions I had for you. Very interesting from a marketing perspective. Thanks, Manny.
Thanks, guys. Give them a round of applause.
No, sorry, Alan. Just give me a
there's
chance.
more.
Yeah, just give me a
All
chance.
right, hold on.
Gary, before you disappear. I'm sure you've noticed when you approach our stand, we're a bit disengaged.
I was going to comment, but I know I'm from the East Rand, but I'm still trying to be polite, and I'm not sure that normally you'd be dressed like that at an exhibition stand, but yeah.
Yeah, Gary, that's exactly what you should not be doing on the floor at Propak Africa 2025. It will cost you down the line. So I think the team has put something together for us. Marel, can you share with regards to what you guys put together for us?
Sure, no problem. So there will be an exhibitor training that will take place on the 26th of November, right here in the Man Building. There will be 2 sessions, and you can attend either the morning session at 9 or the afternoon session at 1. It will also be recorded, so if you are not able to make it on the day, then you can access the recording after the event.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. So a bit like today's briefing is also being pre-recorded for exhibitors that can't make it. But those training sessions, so I can send some of my sales guys, whoever's going to man the stand, and you guys will take them through how to get the most out of their participation at the shows in March.
Yes,
That's correct.
100%.
Okay, that's awesome. So guys, as exhibitors, let's utilize that opportunity. Have a look at the dates and send through your responses, and let's get as many of our teams there as possible. I think we're done now.
I'll give you an opportunity now, Alan. Thank you.
I'm not happy about that, man. There was a smooth, rehearsed way that I would get up and chat, and then suddenly you just took over, okay? You knew it was the end of your show. And then you just thought, no, I'm going to get center stage. And it's disappointing is what it is, okay? Get out. Can I just ask, is it a requirement to have the same hairstylist at... and then I really want to find out, Mark, what's happened to you? This hair's too much. You're going to have to get rid of that.
We'll see in 2 years' time, Ellen.
All right, and see how it goes. Okay, fantastic. I think give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Very helpful. I just want to check, did someone say this is called the Man Building?
Yeah, the Man Building.
In 2024?
Yeah.
They need to rethink that, I think. As we know, there are no more men anymore. It's a pleasure.
It's an industrial company, actually.
Oh, it's an industrial company. All right.
Acronym.
Acronym.
Yeah.
All right. What does acronym stand for?
I'm not sure. Let's leave it at that.
What does acronym stand for? It's a layered joke. And all right, so this is fantastic. We've got one more. Before I want to also talk about this because I turned 50 in January this year. And I know we've got some young people in the audience, this young lady here. Soon she'll be in matric, and that's very exciting. She can hardly hold her head up. Her neck muscles haven't even developed. And that's some people are slightly older. This man here will remember many, look at me, many years ago. When you were in your 60s, it's fine, he can't hear. The point is, you would think with age comes experience. You would believe that. But the world isn't like that. I find as I get older, something's become more frustrating. When I book a flight now, I don't know if you have this experience. I was born in 1974, and you have to go to those drop-down menus online. It used to just be one whir on the mouse, and then you'd get to... Now I'm there for 6 or 7 minutes. I whir, whir, whir. By the time I get to 1974, the flight is often full. This is why I travel less and less. So it's frustrating. But you don't have it. You've always been in good shape. I know you're a health fanatic. And no, it's true. And you like a bit of CrossFit, is that right? Is that your thing?
CrossFit.
Well, you're just, I don't know, because you... And dun. I've never had the... At my fittest, I was... And that's fine. I embrace that. I believe you've still got one more stand. Let's see what they have to share. Good luck.
Thanks,
Have
Alan.
fun. Do you think Manny will interrupt this one as well? Or
I'm hoping
no,
not.
we'll just check. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hi there, Gary. Mark.
Mark, pleased to meet you.
Charlene,
Hello,
nice
Charlene.
to meet you.
Hi, guys. I've met with some of your colleagues, and as an exhibitor, I've been introduced to the concept of an entry-level specialized stand, shell scheme stand. I've then seen the top option from Manny introduce the concept of a custom build stand, a designer stand. There is an option in between, is there not?
Yes, there is, Gary. Thank you for asking. It's no mistake that we're in the middle here. The customized package behind us, that is definitely the middle option. If you're an exhibitor that's looking for convenience, you maybe don't want to order everything independently, but you don't want to get a safety file and get into everything that Manny looked at, then a CP or a customized package is definitely for you.
I believe there's some modern technology that's come through on the customized packages. Do you mind sharing that with us, Shani?
Yeah, it's really nice. It contains all of the basics from your furniture to your lighting, etc. And then what it also includes is your graphics. We used to do vinyl. The new CPs or customized packages come with fabric banners. And what's really nice about these is it's yours afterwards. You can keep it. So you can take it to to other golf days, to your office, to other shows. You don't have to reprint. You can actually reuse this fabric banner, making it very sustainable and practical.
I believe you've done that with some of your show branding on different shows, have you not?
Yes, we have. And I think a tip would be do not date your branding. Okay? So we're a really bad example because, of course, the show is dated, so we can't reuse this other than in Cape Town next week. So please don't do that. If you want to use the fabric, don't date it. We also bought an example, Gary, in the front there. It's the red one. So please go and take a look at it.
Okay, and how do I access this? Is this also on the QR code in the book?
No, it's not on the QR code. If you're uncertain and you want more information on a customized package, please speak to the sales team, Sonia and Andrea. I think they're busy outside preparing your packs. You're welcome to go and chat to them. The one we built outside is a 5x3 or a 15 square meter stand, but these do vary per stand size. So if you think that you've got a bigger stand, for example, a 60 square meter, we actually do have customized packages for those sizes, but it does look different. It's got some couches on it, maybe storeroom, etc. So I urge you to go and have a chat to the sales team.
And then all the EMS, the safety regulations, and all of that's taken care of as well as if I got the SE package. Is that correct?
100%. It's a very convenient option. You literally pitch. That's all you have to do. Maybe bring some brochures and you're ready.
But it has got the extra added design element to it, which a normal SE package doesn't.
100%. It is definitely a little bit elevated from your basic package, and you don't have to order everything individually. If you do order a CP, you will be contacted by GL Events directly, and they'll assist you. What color carpets do you want? What color vinyl do you want on your plinths? And they'll help you with the sending them the artwork for the print.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Charlene. Mark, so having now got a sense of the 3 different stand options that I could access as an exhibitor, and getting some of the marketing feedback, can you just perhaps share with us as exhibitors what's happening at the show? It's 3 years since the last one. What sort of activations have you got lined up for the event?
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, thanks, Gary. I mean, we all saw in the video 3 years ago what went down in 2022. Happy to announce in 2025 we're more than double what we were in 2022 from a size perspective with the exhibitors that have already signed up. So we'll be utilizing halls 5, 6, and 7. Hall 5 will be mainly your plastics sustainability on the ProPlast side. Hall 6 will be mainly your packaging, so Propak, food processing, and labeling. And then Hall 7 will be predominantly the printing for packaging, where we partner with the Gap, and that's the Gap Print Expo.
Okay, and workshops and seminars, some intellectual content into the show?
So we're doing 2 seminars for this year, 1 in 5 and 1 in 7. So we will be partnering with a PCO and working very closely with our main associations. We work very closely with Packaging SA, Printing SA, Plastics SA, so they'll be helping with the content and the speakers. And then we also work very closely with IPSA. IPSA are the Institutes of Packaging in South Africa. They will be actually hosting 3 half-day workshops during Propak.
I haven't seen Bill Marshall. Is he here today? No, I didn't see him.
I don't. He's obviously working very hard on putting the program together, along with Vanessa. And then a special mention must go to our sponsors. 3 main sponsors so far for this year. I know Natasha touched on it. There are still opportunities available, but Fiber Circle, Rotocon, and Siaka are our 3 main sponsors for 2025.
Okay, well, that's great because, I mean, we all understand the realities without commercial support. These things aren't possible. So that's great. Talk to me about, I believe you've got some theme days lined up.
So we do, Gary, and they've worked very, very well traditionally in previous exhibitions that we've done. So over the 4 days, we will be incorporating the 4 different themes. Day 1 will be new products. So we encourage exhibitors, if you are launching a new product during the show, let us know about it. We'll make a big splash. Caroline can get involved. So day 1 is new products. Day 2, a buzzword that has been for a while, sustainability, very, very important in this industry. Day 3, we mentioned this is the man building, but something that's very, very important to this sector is the ladies. So day 3 will be women in packaging.
Okay.
We might even change the name of the building. And then day 4 will be the local Islaka, which is Proudly South African Day. And these themes will also then cross-link into the 2 seminar theatres that will be on the floor of the exhibition.
Okay, now we've got a sense of the marketing activities around the show, but a couple of us, and I certainly would in my business and as an exhibitor, I would want to have a tiered approach to inviting some VIP visitors. What have you guys got lined up in that space?
Okay, no, brilliant, Josh. So there are 3 tiered layers of the visitors. There's the normal visitor who comes, he registers, he parks in the outside parking, and he makes his way through the registration and walks the halls. We then have the premier visitor, which has happened traditionally in the past. The premier visitor will be invited by the exhibitors. That's an opportunity for a park-in. There's a small premier lounge located in Hall 5, and it's just an opportunity for a small little up-leveled
Okay,
experience.
so that's an elevated status. If I've got a few VIPs, I can.
Yep.
And how do I access that? How do I access and invite my key clients as
So again,
premier visitors?
I think we've said it a few times here, the QR code, it's downloadable on the Exhibitor Hub. You'll see a link for the premier visitor. That link you send to your premier clients, and they will then register as a premier visitor.
So as an exhibitor, I send that premier link to my key clients that I would like to see at the show, and then they register from there.
That's correct, yeah, 100%.
Okay, and then tell me about the new package that you're putting out there. I believe you tried it on your industrial show, and it's worked pretty well, contrary to some internal challenges.
It worked
Tell us about it.
It worked very well in September at our mining show. So this is something new to Propak. It is the diamond label visitor. So I'm sure you as exhibitors all have that VVIP client that you are looking to impress. So this is a limited opportunity for only 100 visitors a day to have an experience of a diamond label visitor. One of the reasons why we're having this briefing in the Man building here today is your visitors will get to experience what you are experiencing here today. They will have parking inside the venue, just outside here where you've parked. I'm sure most of you have been upstairs and experienced what we have set up there with the food, with the couches. That'll all be part of the Diamond Label visitor experience.
Okay, excellent. And we'll be able to access that as exhibitors. Would we pay you guys for the allocation?
So
it's limited.
There is, because it is limited to 100, there is a small charge of 500 Rand per visitor.
Okay.
You also might say, well, this is a bit disconnected from the venue. There is a shuttle service that will be running throughout the 4 days of the show. So not only will they have parking inside the venue and access to this facility, they will also have a shuttle service that will take them directly from here to one of the halls and vice versa, coming back when they're done.
Okay. Alan touched on the South Africanism of us as a collective. We work hard, but we also play hard. I believe there's an exhibitor function during the course of the show.
As always, there will be an exhibitor function that will take place after day 2. Really looking forward to that.
Okay, and you'll send information out to us about that.
That'll definitely be communicated at a later stage.
All right, and then I believe there's an international or a global trend in exhibitions, particularly well-established shows. We started that process at Propak Cape in October last year. Charlene, could you maybe elaborate on that, the pre-book?
Yeah, at Propak Cape last year, we started with the pre-book. We introduced it very slightly, but for Propak Africa 2025, we will implement it completely. So pre-bookings or rebookings, essentially, for Propak Africa 2028 will open on the 1st of February 2025.
There must be some commercial value in that or financial incentive for us as exhibitors?
I can see a lot of questions written on everyone's faces. So yes, the first advantage is financial. It will be at a reduced rate if you pre-book before the show opens. What this is to give everybody an opportunity to evaluate Propak, to look at it, to discuss it in a boardroom before you get to a pressurized environment on site where you're thinking that you have to rebook in 1 day or in 2 days. This gives you ample time beforehand to discuss it. And the third benefit would be if we then don't deliver on everything that we said here today, and you didn't enjoy the show, you don't feel like you got the ROI, you are welcome to cancel within our cooling off period. That's until the end of March. So there's no cancellation fee, nothing should you choose to cancel before the end of March.
And I believe the take-up's been good. There was over 60% of our exhibitors down in Cape Town rebooked and 80% of your mining show a couple of months ago. Is that correct?
Yeah, we introduced it on the mining show in September and it worked really, really well and we rebooked over 85%. Gary.
Okay. All right, enough about the commercial stuff. I believe you guys also invest in the community. Mark, can you share with us what's lined up for Propak Africa 2025?
Sure, Gary. No, so from a charity perspective, we like to partner with something that's really relevant to the industry. So these are school shoes. They are actually made from recyclable drip bags at a cost of 35 Rand per pair.
And how's the system going to work?
So it's a fantastic initiative. So all visitors that register on the website have an option to donate as many pairs as they would like to at a cost of 35 Rand. But as an exhibitor, we would really encourage you to get involved as well. From a Propak perspective, we'll be donating 100 pairs to a really good cause. And Charlene, I think you have the details of exactly how many pairs of shoes we've actually been involved in.
Yeah, we started with this campaign about 3 years ago, and we've donated over 16,000 pairs of shoes to kids in need. So it's a really, really great initiative.
Okay, guys, thank you for those insights and thank you for sharing.
Brilliant, thank you.
That was pretty impressive. It seems like we've covered everything. Are you happy that all the information you needed as a potential exhibitor was given to you?
Yeah, I think most of it's, as you know, I've got a very short attention span.
I didn't want to say.
So the information is here. People mustn't forget their packs on the way out. There's a goodie bag inside, the QR code and all the information's there. And I can only encourage our exhibitors to utilize the resources and the opportunity they've already bought into. So it's really about unpacking that, if I may.
Unbelievable. And of the six people that you spoke to today, do you have a favorite?
Did I speak to 6 people? No, not at all.
No, you don't. You love them all equally.
Oh, totally.
You lie so well. That is incredible. Can we give them all a round of applause? And for Gary, thank you very much. Thanks, gents. Thanks, ladies. Really beautiful. Just to kind of finish up here is to talk about this notion of information and how we use it. You know, as a 50-year-old man, you have the world at your oyster. You are young and free-spirited. You are literally a spring chicken in the farmyard of life. This man is an old cock. And no, cockerel. Cockerel, he knows what I mean. But when you are, I would imagine, spend hours a day just looking in a mirror. Why wouldn't you? Because what comes back at you is a thing of beauty. Am I right? As you get older, I get nervous of mirrors. Would you agree with that, sir? You haven't used a mirror in years. Is he laughing? I don't want to look. But the point is, but it's true. As we get older, folk here will tell you, use a mirror strategically in your house. It makes a room look bigger. Or you put it at an entrance, but you are prepared for that quick look, emotionally and intellectually, for what's going to come back at you. I spend a lot of my life in hotels and Airbnbs. I don't even know where a mirror is going to be. It's a very edgy experience. I was in a hotel last night in Joburg, and I couldn't predict with a mirror. I was showering naked because that's how I shower. You might be different. I'm old-fashioned. And I climbed out of the shower, closed the shower door. There was a full-length mirror on the back of the shower door. Okay? I was not expecting that. If I'm honest with you, the mirror was not expecting me. Nobody came out of this a winner. I was very shook to my core. But a hotel is interesting because you can have more than one mirror in the same room. Am I right? You can have a wall with a mirror opposite another wall with another mirror. A chance literally to reflect on yourself. At our age, that's very important. Sometimes you can have a room, 3 walls, 3 mirrors. Woo! And that gives you access to parts of yourself that you don't always get to enjoy. So you can drop your pants and look through your legs at yourself in a mirror, back on yourself, reflected back. But then somebody got into the lift and said, no, this is inappropriate. You can't do that. Which is very, very sad, actually. Sometimes there are restrictions. Charlene, you got a good visual there. So it is. It's a mad time. At 50, we've got to look after ourselves. Security continues to be an interesting thing in this country. When I go to sleep at night, I take my shoes off. I put my one shoe there next to my bed and then the other shoe here. And if anyone breaks in the middle of the night and they find my shoes, they think I'm a much bigger man than I actually am. It's a pleasure. I do the same thing on Tinder dates, but for different reasons. Stuff you weren't there. And it's a crazy time. We were hearing about AI. What I like about, as I've worked with specialized exhibitions over the years, is that they keep up with technology and try and offer the stuff. Because AI, that's the big kunsmatige intelligentie, né? Some of us can't even deal with the real intelligentie. Now we have to deal with kunsmatige. And it's a tricky one. I don't know if you know this. Is it the singularity? This is the phrase they talk about where people are nervous that the computers will become smarter than the humans. I think that happened about 70 years ago. Just looking at some of the people I meet in my day, and me, at 50 years old, I'd like to think I know stuff. But the truth is we don't. I'm sure you could. Sometimes I sit in a car at 50 years old and my windscreen fogs up and I still don't know if it's the heat or the cold that makes that go away. Am I right? You just turn all the knobs, close your eyes, and drive faster. That seems to be, the computers have won a long time ago. And here's maybe a point to make, is that although everything is digitized and systematized, we have QR codes and websites and WhatsApp, sometimes interactions can still be frustrating. I call sometimes when you call a call center and they want your cell phone number, I try and give the cell phone number to the operator in a palatable fashion. So I'll say 072, and then I pause so that that person can repeat it back. But that person never does. And then I go 456, then I pause, then nothing happens. And then I say 1212, and then the operator goes 456. And I go, yes, but 072. And they go, that's right. 456072. And I go, no, 072456. And they go, 072456 And I go, no, 1072. And they go, 1072. So then I say, let's start again. I say 072, then nothing happens. Then I say 456, then they offer 1212. Then I say, yeah, but 456 in the middle. And they go 1245612. And then I don't know if that is my number or not. I start to lose confidence in my own information. So I say, what number do you have for me? And then they say 07245612 And that sounds close enough. So I say 137/196. And they say, is that your cell number? I say, no, that's my blood pressure. Because stress comes to us quite a lot. I want to end this exhibition and encourage you now in a moment to grab your takeaway packages, go and enjoy whatever is you still want to do, and network, please. But, people forget this. I've told people before, I used to be a high school teacher. I don't teach anymore. The restraining order is very specific about that. And I don't want to go into all the details. But I always carry a flip chart around with me. That's one of the things I do in my life. And I'm old school. People are using all kinds of new technology and projections and AI. But me, I carry this on my Vespa wherever I go. I'm going to lose you two for the moment. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be up here. But if you want to come around and look, otherwise it's just... So I wanted to just unpack this equation. Because for me, one of the good news stories in our country at the moment is the Springboks. They have been extraordinary. And even if you're not a Springbok supporter, you are happy. Even when you say, Faf de Klerk, your chakras begin to vibrate. Am I right? And the women are even worse. It's extraordinary. People get excited. Do we have any foreign folk amongst us? Anyone not from South Africa? Because I think we keep it a secret that we've only won 4 World Cup. No, we haven't. We've become terrible at boasting, haven't we? When anyone says anything, 4 World Cup. And we get excited. There's a guy on Twitter called Jared Wright, who every day he tells you how many days successively we've been World Cup champions. It's over 3,500 days in a row now. But 2 weeks ago, someone from England replied and said, true, but you also had 3,800 days without electricity. So that brings you back down to earth, doesn't it? But we got to hold on to the good news. And it's exciting. And I think it's given rise to one of the greatest human beings of all time, Rassie Erasmus. Can we agree on that? I see you're not so sure, sir, but maybe get your own stage and find a microphone. Then you can decide who the greatest human being is. But this is my slot, okay? And Manny hasn't interrupted, so I'm saying it's Rassie Erasmus. He was amazing. And he gave those 2 beautiful rugby documentaries. I think it's Chasing the Sun. And then the second one was brilliantly called Chasing the Sun 2. I don't know who came up with that, but really thinking outside of the box. And the box. Just thought of that now. It's actually not for you. Some jokes even I'm not aware of, and that's exciting. But what I loved about it is Rassie's not only seemingly a very charming man and with great tactical nous, but he also, for alpha males in this country, he shifted things for us because we saw him weeping, crying, showing vulnerability on television. And I think that was an important moment. Remember how he cried in episode 1 and episode 2 and throughout episode 3 and most of episode 4. And then it was almost too many tears, wasn't it? He was having a mental breakdown. But the point is, it was vulnerable. It was powerful. And I loved it. 31,000 South Africans met the Springboks at OR Tambo International. Isn't that extraordinary? When the Proteas cricket side arrived back, people who had booked flights for that day did not turn up, in case anybody thought they were supporting the cricketers. Now, that upsets me, because I'm a cricket man, first and foremost. But what can you do? There is a huge gap. People often say to me, what is that gap? And Al, can you explain it? And I always say to them, don't call me Al. You don't know me well enough. You can call me Lucretia, like my mother does. But that's for a different story. And now I wanted to just unpack this here. Very briefly is to unpack 4X. We're trying to solve 4X. The difference between the rugby players who are pro-tiers. They use the tiers to drive future victory. And then, of course, the Proteas, who are in many ways a cricket side. Can I just ask you to tighten the gap between my punchlines and your responses? It's just because it's buffering at the moment, and I do want us to get to lunch now. We know both sides want to win a World Cup. Everyone wants to rule the world. So the graph we use is tears for fears. Shout, shout, let it all out. We know the Springboks have maximum tiers. We saw that in the documentary. They have minimum fears because they have the bomb squad. The cricketers have maximum fears. That's why they wear a ball box. And minimum tiers because tiers is rain, and rain creates Duckworth-Lewis system. And nobody wants that rubbish. Frank Duckworth, the man who invented the Duckworth-Lewis system, passed away this year. Did you know that? 87 years old. Wonderful man. Highly regarded. In fact, now in November at the home of cricket, Lords, they are having a huge memorial for him. 700 people are expected, unless it rains. In which case, the revised target is 322. That joke is only for 6 people, and I don't care, okay? That's how I work. So there is a huge gap between the rugby and cricket sides, a gap through which Cheslin Colby would easily make his way. Even Ox and Che could make his way through that gap. Cook and salad in hand. We know both sides are professional rugby and cricket sides. They have many similarities. You can see that visually. Many things that are the same. But what differentiates them is the Rassie factor. It's a pleasure. I've proved something here. Thank you. You're very kind to recognize that. We know there are similarities between the rugby and cricket sides. They both have a Rassie. The rugby players have Erasmus. The cricketers have Rassie. Van der Dissen, that's right. And in Dutch, Van der Dissen means from a distance. You don't know, do you? You're going to have to trust me. From a distance. And that creates the Bette Midler effect. And it prevents the wind from underneath their wings. That's why there are no wings in a cricket side. But they do have pads. So that answers that age-old question between the wings and the pads. So that... No, that's true. That's in the midfield. And it's a tickle down the fine leg. But no, stop it. Stop it. Full stop, period. Sorry? Whoa! I can only do that joke once a month. Okay, leave it alone. Here's the point. The point I'm making, there are many similarities. They both have a Rassie. The rugby players have Faf de Klerk. The cricketers have Faf du Plessis. The rugby players have Willie. The cricketers have de Kock. So very similar. And the question is, who has the bigger package? Well, if you look at Faf de Klerk and say Onnebroek, then you know. Hands in the ruck. The answer is the rugby players. They've had 4 World Cups. The cricketers have had 8 hiccups. Very different. We know Faf du Plessis and Quinton de Kock have retired. So we have 2 ex-players and we're asking why. Okay. So mathematically, it's getting more confusing. We know Rassie works with a 6-2 split off the bench. The cricketers work with a 22-for-7 split on the field. On day 1 of the Newlands Test match, for which I paid 280 Rand to sit in the North Stand, and the game was over 20 minutes before tea on day 2. I'm not angry. This is not comedy. This is now revenge. Okay. And the rugby players tear through the opposition. The cricketers tease a victory, but it's a de Kock tease. It promises a lot, delivers very little. It's a complete balls up. And so finally, what we can understand is that the rugby players, to use a motoring term, operate at full throttle. To use another motoring term, the cricketers, with this cold start, have to use a choke. And that is where it goes terribly, terribly wrong. And so often the Proteas are deflowered. And if you are deflowered, that means you're Anyway, the point is, we love them, and they can still win games, test matches that take us to the World Cup Championship. You've been a lovely crowd. Please give all these delegates a round of applause. We can't wait to see you in 2025. Don't forget your takeaway bags. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.